As you can see today, guys, I'm clearly outside, so if the audio is a little bit, you know, um, I'm my apologies, but today I want to do a video outside because not only is this the first video that I've ever done outside, which it's on topic with what I'm talking about today, which I will get to in a second, and it's just honestly a beautiful day out, and I would like to do more content outside. And I found the way, to get my webcam out here and to be able to record. So expect more videos outside in the future. Of course, while I'm doing this, my neighbor's, cutting his lawn. Obviously, conveniently at the time that I want to record outside, but that's besides the point. Um, Today's topic is be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Now, the reason why I want to be outside for this is because this is my first video ever outside. I've only been in the comfort of my own room, and not even outside of my room, not even, in my living room or somewhere else. I've only been in my room when I'm recording. And I think that this goes in, with being uncomfortable or comfortable with the uncomfortable. I'm coming out here and I'm trying to get comfortable with something that I have not done before. And I don't have a script today, mostly because this topic is so personal to me. And hopefully I don't ramble, but it's personal to me because in my life I have been put in many uncomfortable situations. Mainly one is moving to the house that I now live at. Um, I grew up in the same area pretty much all of my life. So going to a new area was a really big change for me, and it 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 put me in a really bad depression, you know. And not only just a depression, but almost to the point where I wanted to, delete early. You get what I'm saying? So, I was pretty much uncomfortable, moving to a new school, moving to a new area. The area that I'm in, is not filled with, people that are like me, to be honest, you know. So it's very hard, it was very hard for me first coming here, to adjust. But after a while, um, I realized that, being uncomfortable is not a bad thing. Well, it can be a bad thing, but when you're in situations like this where you can learn and you can grow as a person, being uncomfortable is probably the best thing you could possibly do. Me being uncomfortable and me being put in the situation I was in pretty much, changed me for the better. I grew a lot of skills that I feel like I never had before, or I didn't even know that I had before, you know. It made me, learn new things about myself. And me being uncomfortable and put into an environment that I'm not necessarily familiar with is what made me the person who I am today. This is even part of the reason that I am talking to you guys, to share my experience and to let you know that, being uncomfortable, being put in maybe the wrong situation at the wrong time might not even be the worst thing for you. It could, it could be a great thing for you. I mean, me personally, I'm not saying that moving to this area was an amazing thing, but it gave me, new opportunities to grow as a person. And, once I started looking at life a little bit more optimistically, I found myself being so much happier and, realizing that I've learned so much through just being uncomfortable, So after a while, I started to, throw myself in situations that, you know, and not just, bad situations. I'm talking about, like, certain events where I might have to socialize or stuff like that. And, doing it has gotten me so much, it has gotten me so much, skills and just, traits about myself that I didn't even know before. So, being uncomfortable to me is can be greatly can be great for you. It can be great for anybody, honestly. And me being comfortable with being in the uncomfortable has made me grow as a person so much you couldn't even understand. So if there's one thing you could take away from this video, it's make sure to put yourself into situations that you might not be familiar with, because you could end up learning more about yourself than you could ever know. You might even, you might even find a new interest about yourself that you might not even know. You might even find, um, you might even find a passion that you didn't even know you had. You might find, you could honestly find anything being in the uncomfortable, because the uncomfortable is the unknown, and the unknown, it's unknown. You don't know what you're gonna find in the unknown. And obviously, there's been times where I put myself in uncomfortable positions, and maybe it doesn't turn out the best for me, and that's fine. But as long as you keep trying to put yourself in these uncomfortable positions, it can help you grow as a person. Now, obviously, just don't throw yourself in any uncomfortable position, because not every uncomfortable position is obviously right. Obviously, there's plenty of things that you probably shouldn't be getting into. But I'm more so talking about, just learning yourself as a person. And um, even those bad, uncomfortable things can still help you learn things about yourself and can still help you grow as a person. So, once again, if you could take anything away, try to, you know, don't be so uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. You know, grasp it. You get what I'm saying? Bring yourself to it and respect it, and try to learn from it, because the uncomfortable can help you learn so much. It really can.